Chipotle is she just reported, right?
Yeah. Oh, is it out? I don't know if it's out yet.
Yeah, it's out. I think it's out.
I know Akamai is out. Let's see.
Oh, how's that one?
That was up a
Yo,
little.
what's going on, everybody? We're going to go ahead and start in a couple of minutes. Go ahead and let us know if you can hear us and see the screen. We will get started in a couple of minutes. So just give us a quick mic check there. What's up with the Akamai? Oh, that shit's up too.
Akamai, yeah. Up, yep. What I wanted to do, take this. Okay. By the way, how do I know when? Shouldn't I? Usually, you get like a notice when you flip the screen to me. Don't I get like a heads up?
Yeah. I'll do it right now.
Okay. Oh, there you go. The show me screen. Okay, just so I know if you flip it over, you could hold it. I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back. Let's do you for the beginning and then the trade review. And
then, you want me to show my screen initially? Okay.
Yours.
Okay.
Yo, what's up with you today, man? What'd you fucking trade today, man? I haven't talked to you the whole fucking day, bro. I've been so busy.
It's nuts. It's nuts when it's like this. I traded a couple things this morning. I was like a little piker this morning. I sold a lot of things too quick.
Yep.
You know,
because that's your style. Your style is, that's your kind of thing. You do better when I do horribly, bro.
Well, you know what it is? It's like today's a perfect day. Okay, I was anxious to get into the weakness and ride the long side, and then you probably couldn't wait till that steam ran out and it was ready to roll over, so you catch that short. You know what I mean? So it's like we're hanging out on two ends there.
Not to cut you off, but pull up fucking Snapchat. Pull up Snapchat right now.
Oh, that's another one. That's right.
Pull up Snapchat right now, dude. We got our trade tomorrow.
No way.
No way, right?
I don't believe it. Wow. What the hell did they say?
I don't know. Yo, guys, if you guys are on the Snapchat, let us know. Drop some comments here, especially in the room here, of what the hell they say. Yo, just traded 18. Get the fuck out of here, man.
You know why this is? It's going to piss off a lot of us because you know how many times we tried trading off that Fed action and couldn't make $1?
Dude, I probably lost a solid 60 grand trying to catch a low. Solid 60.
Oh, man. It caught activity too today. We just ignore it now at this point because we can't get any movement on it intraday. Really tough. Where is it here? Snap. I know she caught activity. Here it is. That's 315 at 315. Decent sized block too there into earnings. What they buy? The weekly 14.5. He's going to make some decent money on that, huh?
Dude, he's going to crush it. What did that close for? Fucking 50 cents? No way.
Wow.
You said 14.5?
He bought the 14 here, right here. Look, look at this sweep, a sweep too. He bought the 15.5. He put over $250,000. That was at 3 o'clock.
Oh, this shit closed at 45 cents, dude. It's closed at 45. That shit's gonna open up at $3, dude.
Wow.
2 at least.
A little bastard. I wanted that. I would have been happy seeing that thing trading at $2 right now. You know.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's get cracking here. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is your Tuesday sort of wrap-up webinar here with myself, Lucci here, and Wall Street Jesus. So we do this Tuesday recap, basically, just to kind of showcase some trades that have been working out in the room, and also just kind of talk markets in general. You guys have obviously been not sleeping. I'm sure. How many of you guys have not been fucking sleeping? I mean, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, are ES traders. How many of you guys trade futures? How many of you guys trade cryptos? Go ahead and give us an idea of who we got in here. Crypto has been super active. There was an SEC. I don't know if you were watching this, Jesus, but there was SEC meeting yesterday where they were talking about, some of the regulations on the ICOs and all this kind of stuff. Right. So crypto actually performed pretty well. Bitcoin started bouncing here from the lows. I think Bitcoin hit a low of what? Freaking 5,800 or some shit like that, all the way down from 20 G packs. Well, Jesus, wow. 20. Bow, man.
Yep.
I think even there might even still be some downside. I don't know. We'll see going forward. So how many of you guys here are futures traders as well? Futures last night was unreal. Futures last night was absolutely unreal. And you know what I noticed too, Jesus, was the tape, man, on the futures. I looked at the Ninja Trader stuff, right? And I was looking at I was looking at bid and ask, just like we usually do. And there was no liquidity, bro. There was no fucking liquidity, bro.
You're talking about ES now? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the ES. Like, it was trading like the NASDAQ futures and some of the other, low liquidity sort of names here. And then you think about it, too, from a market maker perspective, when you're that volatile, would you want to provide that liquidity? I mean, look at how options opened up this morning, okay? Most of you guys, I mean, if you guys are equities traders or if you guys are options traders, did you guys notice, and of course everybody's going to say yes on this one, but did you guys notice how fucking insane the spreads were? Even on the SPY, you were looking at 50-cent spreads on the SPY. Like SPY options, you would get 50-cent spreads. SPX was even worse. Even Bank of America and shit, you'd get a 20-cent spread. It was insane, Jesus. And honestly, bro, off the first 5 minutes, I'm telling you right now, unless you were a fucking crazy asshole and you just went ahead and went market and you didn't give a damn what price you got filled at, you pretty much couldn't trade those options for the first 5 to about 10 minutes.
Unbelievable.
That's how crazy it was. And literally, obviously, in hindsight, you pull up the SPY chart and you see the huge ramp that we had in the morning. What did we run? Fucking 70 handles right off the open, bro? Like, that was insane. That was absolutely insane, and we ran that quickly, that fast. And either you were just grabbing your junk and just buying whatever the hell you could, and trying to make some money. But dude, you would have had to cross an insane spread where you would immediately be down 30%, 40%, 50%.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? So
that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest difference. Like for me, like people ask, why don't I day trade options and I'm comfortable with the equity? Yeah, I would have smoke coming out of my ears. Like me, you know how I am. When I buy something, I fire and I'm putting a market order. I put it a little above the ask to make sure I get filled. Can you imagine me like day trading on the call side? They've been robbing me left and right, So
yeah, you would be the archetype for the market maker to just chop the hell to bits, because you would be crossing the spread left and right. Because you wouldn't be quick enough to try to find a limit, to X out of that limit, move up the limit, and continue going and going and going. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So for the first 5 minutes, guys, don't get upset with yourself either. If you guys look back at the day and you've been like, oh my God, had I just bought the open and shit, I would have been good. Like, I didn't buy until SPY hit like 263 and 264. And that's when we kind of calmed down. We kind of slowed down a little bit. And then we just had another 30 handle freaking ramp. And then I shorted the crap out of it, off that ramp as well. And then the rest of the day, I was just selling premium. So we're going to talk about a couple of those trades too as well. But Jesus, what's going on out here, man? Let's just give a quick synopsis about, the last couple of days here and just what we've been seeing.
Yeah. So when we get into this type of mode in the market, I try to stress to, most members that the majority, I would say about literally 95% of the flow, you're looking for a lot, kind of like the way you use the flow. You're using it for sentiment. You're using it as a gauge of momentum on an intraday basis. Okay. if you try to get, or you're asking more than that out of the float in this type of environment, when shit's going haywire, when volatility's nuts, where the market makers don't have a clue what the hell's going on, that's how you get into big trouble. Okay, but flow could be a huge asset, especially, and you could vouch for this, when you have this type of volatility and these extravagant moves on an intraday basis. The flow at times, when it's clean, when it's clear, you could get a real good gauge on when the smart money is getting aggressive. Okay. Right. But again, it doesn't mean they're betting on a bottom, right? It doesn't mean they're betting on new highs over the next couple of months. What it tells us is this could be a good spot, and preferably into weakness. Let's say for me, for example, the market, like, for example, this morning, Luch, you talk about this morning. Okay. And I'm trading equity, so I don't have the issue of what you were explaining on the option side. Right. You got to have a plan on the option side, right? You got to have an idea of what you're looking to do. You can't just fire. Okay. But if you came today and I usually do, I came in today saying, okay, if we're gapping down based on some of the shorter term sentiment stuff I was looking at, people being bearish, a little skittish, I'm looking for any signs of aggressive call activity into that weakness, and that's going to be a spot where I want to look to get long. Okay. Right. And that literally, if you remember the flow early on, very similar to yesterday, that happened again almost out of the gate. Let me scroll back to the beginning of the day just to give people an idea of what the hell took place here. Okay. So we come in, right? Here's the bearish close yesterday. And into weakness, again, it's as simple sometimes as just looking at the board and the color coordination. Now, this can't be used in any given market, but when you're in this type of climate, it becomes quite useful. Okay, so you can see they're buying weakness clearly, right? It doesn't look like this where they're betting on downside momentum.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. We're going to talk about that one in a second, the overnight move here in the VIX as well, but continue there, Jesus.
Exactly. So right here, it's a spot. Now it's a matter of what I want to get long. Okay. And that's where it gets tricky on the option side. You're probably better off with an idea and a plan before you come in. So in other words, it may not fire, but if you say to yourself, like I did, all right, if there's weakness there, if call sweepers are coming into that weakness, I just want to get long SPY, mapping out what calls you're looking to play. You know what I mean? If you have an idea, it'll help the process. So nice. That's what I do anyway. I came in, I bought a couple of things in the morning. That's where the most of my money was made today. Okay, nothing fantastic because I didn't really give too long of a leash in this type of climate to what I was holding on to. And then a simple idea of what we look for of when to like raise stops or maybe trim, start taking profit is as soon as we see that call activity that was aggressive in nature, the velocity of it, as soon as we see it start to slow down and turn, that's when we're pulling the plug. Okay, so first we see the call buying dry up. That's caution sign number one that we may, stop pushing higher. Because think of it this too, Lutz, not to ramble on, but in this environment, and it's similar on the put side, when you see this aggressive call buying come in, right? I'm talking about sweepers one after the other. You know what I'm talking about. It's like rapid fire. It's lunacy. Market makers, they want to hedge this shit. You know what I mean? Right. They're not looking to keep this on their book. So that creates more momentum in itself. And for a day trader, that could be, obviously, that's an edge right there. So that's what you're looking to do. And a lot of traders, where they find the problem is they're looking for more than that. And the same on the downside. It just doesn't happen as regularly on the downside in bull markets. But yesterday, I'll give you a quick example and we could talk about it. Yesterday, the action was pretty quiet. Then all of a sudden, I would say 5 minutes before the bottom fell out of the market, where that big whoosh took place, we just saw put sweepers go bananas. And we were talking about it in the room that this has to put downward pressure on the market over the short term here. You know what I mean? It has to. So it works the same way. And when you're in this type of environment, as people could probably sense the excitement in your voice already, you could play both sides. And you can find success on the short side as well.
Absolutely, and that's a great segue into the next thing. Take a look at the VIX. Let's take a look at the VIX as well for the for the past two sessions. They actually halted fucking VXX today, which
VXX, yeah.
I thought was that was the funniest thing that I have seen in the longest time. I would have to say, but you take a look at the volatility index. Remember, this is a ETF that they've been reverse splitting since I've been trading. God knows how it's still $30. So in my head, it's worth zero. But then you get these huge moves out of nowhere here because of that sort of panic, and then you get these big sell-offs as soon as the buy programs just kind of kick in. Now, these are places where people can get caught very easily. People can get caught very easily with stuff like this if they're shorting options, if they're too early to go for the bounce, and things like that. But the volatility trades for even the lottos out there, you'd be surprised. Some of them, obtain their value even during the sell-offs or during the rallies. And once you get these big directional moves here, you'll actually make money on some of those crazy out of the money lottos, which Jesus will pick up on all the time. I think they were sweeping SPY 290 and 285 calls.
What about this guy? What about this guy, Lucci, at 9:41 this morning? And again, I'm not looking. The first move I'm looking to make, that's confirmation that the squeeze is on right there.
That the squeeze is on.
Those of you who even follow me on Twitter who aren't members, when I see a VXX put sweeper like this come in, okay, that's pretty much the dagger. Okay, that's the bottom for me. That's where I want to get long. That's confirmation. So, not even playing these things like you mentioned, which you can hit lottos left and right, just for sentiment purposes, paying attention to the flow in these things is quite important.
Exactly, and that also leads to some of the trades that I was making, like that VIX put bet right there. And then off the first sell-off that we had on the indexes, if you notice, like a lot of, there wasn't that same panic selling that we saw yesterday. There wasn't that same panic selling. There wasn't that same forceful kind of bid hitting that we saw, for the past two sessions that, we just kind of cratered in. And then from there, you know what I started to do really, really aggressively, Jesus? I shorted a fuck ton of puts, bro. Yep. I shorted all that high, juicy premium on Amazon. Dude, I was 50, 60, 70 points out, getting $10 a contract, getting $11 a contract, getting $12 a contract, Jesus. I shit you not, bro. On fucking Amazon and names like that, you could get $15 on an option, 50, 60 points out of the money, bro. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
time. That was the perfect time to do it, because you knew there were buyers there. You knew they couldn't press it to the downside as long as you know how to, get out of these things, which you do.
Right. That's the issue, though. That's the issue. And that's one of the things I did want to throw out there just for a quick trade. And now that since we're kind of going into it, screw it. Let's go ahead and pull up some. So it's difficult. It's difficult in the sense that you can't trade it like you would any other sweep. So for example, like let's say you have a Bank of America freaking weekly sweep, you just get a grip of these things and kind of hang on to them. With options like the Amazon ones. Let's take a look here. I think we're on the right screen here. Yeah. So this option right here, this is a, what is this? This is right. You get a spread like this. This is a 1,400 put, bro. On that last ramp up at the end of the day, I sold this at $19, and look at where it closed, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the spread is 2 points, though, especially when it's up at $19 or $18, bro. You have to, you got to just sit on here. You got to just sit on the limits. You might want to smack a bid here and there, but most of the time, you got to sit somewhere in between, and you have to be good enough at reading the tape that you know kind of when you're going to get hit. Okay. And then you guys can even take a look at my executions here. Let's look at some executions. Let's see. So some of these were buy orders here. You can see the buy orders. Hold on. Okay, so you can see the buy orders here for the Amazons at 15 at 1380, and you can see me selling them up here at $19. You see this? And I'm literally selling one at a time, Jesus, because you can't You can't do anything else. You might be able to
Wow.
do a 2-lot or a 3-lot or something like that, but you can't do anything else. I mean, look at how thin this book is, you know? So I'll just sit there and I'll try to get a 10-lot or a 20-lot of these things, just going one at a time in the middle of a $2 fucking spread. And it's all about sentiment, bro. Like, if you don't have a good read on the sentiment, like, you're not going to be able to trade that thing properly. And Amazon ripped 40 points, and then obviously this premium.
So let me ask you a quick question, because I've seen you do it, but you never really explained it. Like, okay, let's say this trade, for example, like how do you get out of these things if the trade, like, when and how do you get out of this when it goes against you? You know what I mean?
When it goes against you, dude.
Right.
So literally, you're gonna have just and this is why, like, some of the stuff that I do, like, it's very complicated to try to explain, and it's very complicated to try to emulate as well. It's not just something that is, you know, that is sort of, look at this sweep, go ahead for a scalp, you have a set kind of stop. So for me, the Amazon was literally just like, okay, I'm looking at this chart here, and I'm like, okay, 1420 is clearly like a big level, you know? You're just kind of looking at the chart, and then at the same time, the SPY did this, right? So I wasn't even thinking about doing this. And then all of a sudden, the SPY got back to 265, and I was like, fuck it. I'm taking 100 contracts long SPY. And then in my head, Jesus, I'm like, okay, if I'm long SPY and I think we're going to 267, this Amazon is going to break out, and it's going to go to 1430. And if I can look at that and just be like, okay, if I get 10 points here on Amazon, that means this fucking put over here is going to die. Like, this in the money put or out of the money put or whatever, these puts are going to die. They're literally going to just cave in, and nobody's going to want these things. So that's the idea. But then, Jesus, again, like, you know, like, if you get attached to an idea and it's not working, when you're short this stuff, dude, you don't even want to know, bro. Like, let's say I sold 19, and if I was fucking around and I wasn't on top of my game, I'd probably be coming out at 25, at 26, at 27. Because, guys, when you miss a fill and you're wrong on this stuff and it's that illiquid, they'll spread the contracts back for, you know, $2 or $3 on you.
I was gonna say,
go ahead and provide liquidity there, and you get hosed, bro. You get hosed.
If you got to go through that buying them. In other words, you're going through the same shit, selling them, right?
Yep.
That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Oh, you got enough brain capacity throughout the day to
man. It's sometimes it just kills me, man. Sometimes it really just freaking kills me, bro.
I'd be burnt out after 3 days of doing that. All kidding aside, that's what, you know, a perfect example right there, guys. This game, it's every trader's different. You know what I mean? I can never do that. I mean, that's a gift he's got. You know, he's comfortable doing it. He knows what he's doing. Like, for me to try to copycat that, you want to talk about blowing up accounts? You have no idea. I think that up in smoke it'd be.
All right. So moving on to the next one here. Let's take a look at that XIV. Everybody wants us to take a look at it. You know, throw up that XIV. This is a ETN, okay, an exchange traded note that is the reverse of the the VIX. And now, what was the story behind it? I know Credit Suisse was one of the largest holders and all that kind of stuff, but the thing blew out. How did it do what it did overnight? And what was the news that kind of came out on it?
Supposedly, I mean, in simple English, everybody was on the opposite side of the trade. You know, think about all the money they were making, you know, hitting this VIX over the head, right? Think about how long that trade's been going on.
So long.
Yeah. So you had basically a 2-day period where things starting to unravel, and you had everybody trying to get out at once. And this is what happens. You know what I mean? So, but we know, like, these things, and, you know, you hear it all the times, but you don't believe it, because that's a problem with a lot of traders. When you don't see it right in front of you, right, the consequences or something going wrong, you know, you tend to brush it off as long as you don't see it happen. And you're told, be careful with these things. Be careful with these things. These things are dangerous. Don't trade them like you would any stock. And this is the reason why this could happen. It's nuts. And the SVXY was the other.
One thing I want to comment on too is that, guys, like this is the wealth. This is the nature of the markets. Like this is the zero sum game that everybody talks about. This is the fact that that a certain trade and a certain idea is going to get broken at some point. And it's worth it for both Jesus and I to bring up the conversation that everybody was used to the market going up every single day. Every single day, everybody was used to that happening. All right, and then all of a sudden, when you get all these people trapped into a trade like that, it's just like Bitcoin going to 20,000. Okay, that's a little bit more volatile, of course, and it is a cryptocurrency. But call it whatever you want to call it. But that's a market. Okay, and it's run and dictated by the behaviors of the people involved. Okay, people want to bring up economy and all this kind of stuff. Well, all that is well and good, and that gives you the reason to buy it. If we're up an egregious amount, there's going to be some kind of a blowback. And when these things happen off the backs of, such huge moves, this is the kind of action that we're going to get. It's worth it for us to take a look at the SPY last night. Last night, I mean, I was going nuts, man. Jesus, when I looked at the cash close and we closed at 264, we closed at 264, and then we just kind of kept going. We kept going on the SPY, we kept going on the SPY, we kept going on the ES, and we went down to the depths, man. I mean, we sold off another 500, 600, or 700 handles. It was nuts, man. I'm sitting there watching it like, holy shit. And notice it's extreme on the other side too. It's totally extreme on the other side too. And look at what we did today, and we fucking closed at SPY 269, almost like nothing happened.
Yeah, when you get into these periods in this type of environment, you hit the nail on the head. The fundamentals, all that stuff goes out the window when you're a trader. You could talk about the fundamentals till you turn purple in the face. You try sitting in something that's getting hit over the head like we got hit over the head and try to hold your hat on fundamentals of getting your money back. So you got to be careful in these things. But again, like we were talking about that webinar last week, right? We were talking about how you look dumb on anything you sold, anything you took profits on. If you were a trader, you felt foolish, okay? Because we were in that, like you said, get used to just keep going up every day mode, every dip getting bought. And then, like you said, eventually, the longer you go without some sort of pullback, it's going to be even that more drastic. You know what I mean? And we could talk about putting on protection till we turn purple in the face. We've been talking about putting on some sort of protection and sizing down for a while. But again, traders, they don't want to hear it unless they see this happen already. You know what I mean? They're more concerned about, I want to make money. This market goes up every day. And they never put on as much protection as they need to, or they never size down, and they get caught. And hopefully it's a lesson, though. Hopefully it's a lesson you learn from all this. But the thing
is, man, there's a thing about being over levered. There's a thing about being over levered when shit is just hot. Jesus, like you want to hear what was going on with Bitcoin? You probably don't even know this, but there are lending platforms that will literally lend you based off the crypto that you own, and then you can go ahead and make out a very high interest loans to other people that want to buy fucking crypto. So what do you think that looked like, bro? Like they were doing 40% fucking interest rates, 30% interest rate, ridiculous margin rates to take out these loans so people could buy a fuck ton of Bitcoin. And we like how did they think that was gonna end, bro? How did they think that shit was gonna end, man?
I don't, you know what it is? I think, especially with Bitcoin, like think about this, and it goes to show you how time flies by. Like if you're trading post 2008, Luch, you don't even know these things exist. You know what I mean? And think about it. Like prior to 2008, I mean, you've been through corrections, you've been through all that, you were used to this, you were prepared for it. If you're trading post 2008, I mean, post 2008, what was, you never had that scary moment. You know what I mean? You never had that moment. You never had that too good to be true moment. So I think a lot of younger guys in Bitcoin, they fell in love with the story. They looked at it as, I'm going to get rich off this. They thought they were going to get rich. All their friends were going to get rich. Their family was going to get rich. Their families, they thought they were all going to get rich. Now they're left scratching their head. But I can't. I heard stories, mortgage, take out mortgage on the house. I didn't
Oh
hear
yeah.
what you just told me. Now, let me
Oh
ask
yeah.
you a question quickly, okay?
Yeah.
And thank God, this is a blessing in disguise. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Thank God this blew up now, because the
Yeah.
longer this went on, this could have been a travesty. I'm talking about time. You know what I mean?
I
But
mean, dude, some
who's holding the bag here? Just retail?
there's still a lot of people holding the bag. There's still a lot of people that are buying those altcoins, that Ripple and stuff like that are still long from $3 and $4 and $2, and that Ripple went down to almost like 60 cents, and it started to move at maybe 20 cents or 25 cents or whatever the hell it was. And there are some altcoins that are down like 90%, bro. There's still plenty
Wow.
of people holding the damn bag on this stuff, and that's why it got so aggressive there to the to the downside.
But is there anything?
They never
Is there
been checked.
anything? I know, but is there anything bigger? Is it just retail? Like, when if you have institutions, firms, if this happened in the marketplace, you're talking about a disaster. Now, this is nowhere near as big as any of that. But I'm saying, are there firms going under because of this? You know what I'm saying? There's nobody else besides retail holding the bag on this?
No, there's a lot, dude. There's tons of fresh hedge funds, like people who went out there and raised $100 million and put it into,
Right.
and put it into Bitcoin, and then spread it across all these other alts as well. And then they're also buying, buying up new ICO, buying up new technology, and starting their own ICOs and all that kind of stuff. So there's plenty of people on the other side, and they're on the wealth side too, that are holding the bag on it as well. I mean, dude, you even saw what's his name? Steve, one of the big hedge fund guys. He made a grip on that on the Ripple. I don't know. He could still be freaking holding this shit. I have no idea.
The reason why I ask, you know what I'm getting at. I mean,
yes.
Can this have an effect on the market? You know what I mean?
And most people will say that they're uncorrelated, but bro,
there's
I
no
don't
such
think
thing
so.
as uncorrelated. They said
no
that about subprime mortgages. I heard uncorrelated subprime mortgages while the whole country was burning in flames. I hold uncorrelated. But you know what it is? Whether it's correlated or not doesn't matter, because if you're taking a beating, and we're talking about beatings here, okay, you're going to sell anything that's survived.
Exactly. And that's human behavior. That's behavior of you getting punked on a fucking trade, and all of a sudden you're like, shit, throwing the towel on everything else I got.
Exactly. So that's why, I don't know if it got to that stature yet, but I mean, it was pretty popular. Like you said, you had some big names in it. And who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe this little pullback had something to do with it in the market. Who knows? But that's what I'm concerned about. But luckily it happened now than later anyway.
Indeed. All right, let's move to some trade review, and then what we're going to do is just talk trades for the rest of the session. So the first trade that we kind of wanted to throw out there for you guys was Amazon. We had a put buyer purchase in the money puts, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, I want to say, before the ultimate fucking flash crash. How many of you guys saw the flash crash in Amazon yesterday? By the way, I don't think it hit that 5% limit or whatever the hell it was, but how many of you guys saw that? And what happened was, literally, there was maybe just a giant market order that went off, probably for about 600,000 shares or 1 million shares or whatever the hell it was, and this guy came in before, okay? Now, anybody who was in the room, like you guys know, I was waiting for this thing to happen because Amazon was just holding, the whole time. Jesus, what do you have these bands on here for, bro? Are we in kindergarten, bro?
No, I honestly don't even get me started. I had adjusted all this, and then I hit a button reset, and now it turned into a menagerie over here.
Good Lord. What is this? Bands and shit. Hold on here. I'm taking this one here real quick. Okay, so we're taking a look at Amazon right here, and let's see if we can pull a chart here of this one. Okay.
Yeah, get a chart on Amazon.
Yeah, so this is Amazon yesterday. All right. So dude comes out and buy. Oh, sorry, not yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it Friday?
No, yesterday.
This was yesterday. Okay. Yeah. So yesterday, dude comes in and buys the 1435 puts, literally like right here. And I was sitting there watching Amazon the whole time, and the market was coming in. I'm like, who the fuck is holding up this Amazon? And you guys are in the chat room. You guys know I'm sitting there yelling it like, what the fuck is going on? Why aren't they selling this thing? And then I see this guy. I saw the guy come in at the the 1435s. Okay, let me pull up this option so you guys can see it. All right, so this is the 1435 call. Let's look at it for the last couple of days here. All right, and then we'll see the action here. All right, let's go to 10 minutes. Okay, so here's this dude right here. All right, this is this guy right here. And this is where he's painted. I saw it, and then I'm like, holy shit. Fuck it. That's it. I'm going. All right. So this is what I do. I go far. I go much farther out of the money. So I went to the 1390s, right? And these things were going for maybe like $9 as soon as it happened. And then, you had to pay up for it. So these things were going for $8, $9, $10 or whatever. So I'm starting to just buy. I'm buying everything here up to $15. And then, I saw a huge move, and I'm selling. I'm trying to get the fills at 25 and 30, and by the time I'm like at 25 and 30, I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it, that's it, I'm out. And then boom, that happened, and I was like, oh my fucking, I couldn't believe it.
That was that little flash crash, right? That was that little flash crash thing it had.
Yeah, I froze. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I look over at the stock, and it's trading at 1330. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow. Yeah, and the setup was there because, like I was explaining earlier to you guys, what happened was it was quiet in the early afternoon, just, mixed flow, a lot of earnings flow, and then all of a sudden, just a band of put sweeper activity came in, and the market started rolling over a bit. Things started rolling over, and I remember Lucci screaming with a couple of guys in the room, how is this Amazon holding up? You know what I mean? And lo and behold, boom, the put sweeper came into the Amazon. So it was set up perfect where it didn't make the move yet. You know what I mean? It was just perfect timing on that thing.
Exactly. And again, like the problem was though, Jesus, as soon as that order came out, you already know what happened to the spreads. Because remember, the market makers, they see that size come in and they're like, oh shit, we're about to get blown out here. We're about to get blown out here. So then they'll give you a spread of like 11 by 15, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And what am I supposed to do with that? What are you supposed to do with that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what I would do with it. I'd be hitting offers and I'd be down 50% in seconds. That's the problem.
Oh my God, man. So it was crazy, man. It was crazy. All right, Jesus, I'm going to send it back to you. What other trades we got there for?
Yeah. And just quickly, basically, like I said, the majority of flow here, and again, percentage wise, I'm just using a rough number, but 95% of the flow should be used for momentum. You got earnings flow and all that stuff. So I know I'm going to get these questions anyhow, so I'll hit on it. Couple standout orders today. Did have earnings ties, but some of the better looking order flow. ADI, Apple, David Irene. Some of you guys might know that name. Caught a good looking sweep. Let me see if I can find it right here. Quick, here it is. Right at 11 o'clock, March 90s. You could see the wood there, almost 750 grand. Swept multiple exchanges. Like if this bet doesn't catch earnings, this is as good as you're going to get in that name. A lot of us traded it anyhow off the momentum. Obviously, with the market strength, she had a nice move today. She was up, I think like 3 and change, and it came in basically flat. You can see just a nice grind higher. This thing, like everything else, got hit over the head. So, oversold to say the least there. A nice bounce. Another game name you guys might find interesting that has earnings, Etsy, ETSY. Yeah, huge. And the reason I bring up this name, there's been some good-looking activity in this name last year. All kidding aside, like I didn't even know what the hell they do. I'm confused on what they do. What is it, like artwork and stuff you sell on the internet, Luch? Do you know this company?
I have no idea. I've heard of it. It's just a shopping place, right? I thought it's just a fucking Shopify type shit. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like people selling their arts and stuff on. I don't know, whatever. But make a long story short, there's been nice action in it. There was some nice sweeper activity before the ramp last year. Today, monster put seller, and it takes a pair of coconuts to sell puts into earnings, Luch. No?
Yeah.
But look what this guy did.
No, you really got to have some balls to sell some shit in front of earnings. That is some bullish ass shit, by the way. I love when Jesus gives us some friggin' giant put sellers or call sellers. I love it. I love it.
You'll like this guy because this is ballsy. So look at this. Over 7 times normal volume, opens the largest position of open interest easily. and he sells 11,000 March 17 and a half puts and slams the bid and takes in a buck. A buck.
Fucking dollar.
Okay, on 11,000. And you know, the stock was just there. I mean, the stock hit a low of 17 this morning. You know, closed strong, 1870. So he's going to earnings. We'll see if he ends up covering before that. But that also was a big bet. So again, couple standout orders today, unlike yesterday. But you still have earnings. You still have all that stuff in the middle. So you just got to be careful. That's all.
Okay. All right. So a couple of trades there. And guys, by the way, like, again, like, you know, we cater to a lot of different traders in the room. So when you do join the room and you come check us out for the free trial, you know, whether you guys are an option trader, whether you guys are the day traders or, you know, the equities traders, swing traders, or you trade the futures. Some of you guys might trade the ES as well. We also have a crypto channel in there as well that gets really active. There's a lot of people that use Kraken to short, use futures to short crypto as well. So anytime you do come join us, like, that's kind of what we all do. We all kind of use the flow to support, you know, the different strategies that we all have. Okay, somebody asked me a question on why I got out of that Amazon put, and I really want to kind of just use this guy as an example here. You know, and not to kind of poke fun and all that kind of stuff, but when you guys do join us, you know, Jesus and I have a certain swag about us, right? We're East Coast guys, you know what I mean? So we'll talk a lot of shit in there, you know what I mean? We'll call people out, and this is kind of the shop that we run. So why would you want to get out of this put option here? I mean, yo, these are weekly options, okay? And again, like, this is something that we teach in our master course, and we kind of yell at people again and again and again that come in our room, and they just kind of say flagrant shit sometimes, and they don't understand volatility. They don't understand how these options move. Look at where this fucking option is right now, and you telling me you want me to hold this thing? It's a weekly option. None of these moves hold. And we're talking about a couple of days here. This option is going to close probably at fucking zero. At zero. That's where this option is going to close. So imagine all the chumps that are sitting here buying 20 bucks, 30 bucks, thinking Amazon is done and that's it. The parade is over and this thing is going to 1,300 bucks, 1,200 bucks, or whatever the hell it is, you know, that are sitting there looking to buy a dream. That's what weekly options are, all right? You're fucking buying dreams out here. If you don't know how to buy it and sell it, what the fuck are you doing playing it? There are so many people I have to smack every single day in the chat room because this is what happens to them. They'll sit there and buy shit at fucking 20 bucks or whatever the hell it is, a $5 option, a $3 option, after the move is already done, and then that option goes to zero. The destiny of most weekly options goes to fucking zero. Okay, so if you need to understand that from a different perspective or whatever, and you need somebody else to maybe check you, just come to the room. I'll smack the shit out of you every single day. I will smack you every single day to get it in your thick ass fucking skull.
And he does. No, but you need, guys, all kidding aside, you need a wake-up call sometimes when it comes to this game. Like, if you see how Lucci utilized that weekly option trade for one reason. He was looking to catch the break at that given time. It was an extremely short-term bet. He was right. He made his money. He moves on. I mean, if you're looking for the short-term move and you're playing options, you can play weeklies. If you're looking for anything more than that, you have no business in weeklies, okay? And people who get lumped up in this game are, again, the traders that think they deserve more or should see more. All right. It's very simple. You know, options are already difficult. Already difficult if you don't have a clue of what the hell you're doing. Chances are you're going to lose money anyhow. That's how hard they are, okay, to trade. But there's one simple equation. If you're looking for a short-term move, then you can play your front month option, okay? But make sure when you catch that move or you figure out that you're wrong, you get the hell out of it. If you're looking for a bigger move, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to make sure you have enough time to catch that move. You can't act like you're Nostradamus. You'll never be down on the thing. You know what I mean? You got to be realistic. When you're not realistic, this game will teach you a big time lesson. And trust me, it's going to be painful. But, you know, a lot of times Lucci, they think, Lucci likes to scream at people. It's good I'm telling you, because it's a wake-up call at times, and by doing that, you wake up a lot of people who have been on the wrong track. So, but it's something you guys got to consider. It's no joke. Options are tough.
They are. They are indeed. All right, Lo. So let's pivot here to our last topic here. Let's just go through potential scenarios here for the rest of the week. Obviously with the big fade on the SPY, there still is plenty of upside here technically. If in reality, this is just a quick push lower, and in reality, we're just kind of want to buy it all back here. There's plenty of upside. We already have lottos going off that will retrace the whole damn thing. And, who knows? Maybe it won't be as quick. Maybe it'll be a slow melt up and all that kind of stuff. I try not to forecast out too much on, anything that could happen. I try to come in every single day, try to keep just a no bias situation. I know Jesus does it as well. He doesn't take anything home with him. He just, day trades the moves, off some of the flow. But what are you thinking out there, man? Do you think we, do we think we retest these highs? What are you thinking?
I think, and my approach is here anyway, it's going to be a day by day approach. And the reason I say that is you'll get a clearer picture. I don't think even Lucci, I know for a fact, nobody knows what the hell this market's going to do. You know what I mean? You hear it from some of the smartest cats out there. Nobody knows whether this thing is going to come down, test lows. Is there something else that blows up? Is there something that comes out? You heard Carl Icahn today, right? I mean, that was a perfect. If you heard Carl Icahn today on CNBC, the halftime show, and you're still trying to forecast the overall market, you need your head examined, okay? Because that's a guy who made a ton of money in this game who flat out told you, listen, I can't even waste my time trying to forecast what the hell this market's going to do from here.
Right.
Okay. Right. So, I mean, the approach I'm taking, a lot of members are taking, we come in, we see what the flow looks like. We're looking to take advantage of some of the easier money trades, like I just showed you, trading off the momentum and not getting greedy. Like somebody mentioned, holding the Amazon puts when you didn't need to. We're going to avoid that totally. And then if we happen to see some legitimate flow come into this market, and you guys know what I'm talking about, Bazooka Joe shows up, some bull missiles show up, and we see the smart money starting to get comfortable, starting to put some aggressive money to work, then we can orchestrate a game plan around that. Right now, we're still not seeing that. You know what I mean? We're seeing a lot of cheap, premium, weekly stuff, Lucci, and that's just the pros trading out there. That's all they're doing right now.
Right. So for me, guys, and actually, I'll give you guys a quick lesson here in in just writing options and then just selling premium. Is that when you get these high volatile moves and high volatility sort of environments, like there's some real opportunity to come in and sell some of this shit. You know what I mean? So this morning, one of my biggest trades this morning was just going out here, and Jesus, I was telling you about this. So this was the option that I focused on for most of the day, the 1350 and then the 1330 option. So take a look at this thing. Like you see this spike up. This spike up here was off that dump, from the SPY. So the SPY dumped maybe 30 handles from the high. And then this thing was going for maybe $20 and change. And I'm looking at it on the way up. And then I was just looking at it to see if, okay, are the sellers really going to push this thing back down to lows? And it kind of made a floor like at 1390, 1385, somewhere around there. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel the panic. I don't feel the big sellers. It wasn't the easiest trade to sit there and hold on to. And as you can see, like, you have to sit here through these big kind of squeezes. I mean, look at this. This is like 4 points right here. You know what I'm saying? So if you sell the bid at $12 and all of a sudden you're looking at the best out that you can get at 16, that's what? A fucking 33% loss right there on your options. So this shit is not easy to do. But once you guys get good at reading tape and again, sentiment and stuff like that, then there's real opportunities there. So, Jesus, I'm selling this thing for 14, 13 and everything. And then once I really see like, oh man, like these buyers are just holding it at $1,400, that's it. I start punting it down. And then this is me coming out of it. Obviously, this thing hit 2.5. But you guys see what I mean. This is a 13.5 put that probably 5 days ago was at what, $40? Yeah, $30. This thing's going to close at 0. This thing will close at 0. So after these big volatility spikes, there's huge opportunity to come in here and burn the shit down, for all these options. And all you're doing is, think about it, you're just selling the bet to somebody else, to some chump who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, aka a Jordan L. Not to put you out here, but somebody who's going to go ahead and buy this option for 2.5, when in reality, like this shit's going to zero. It's going to fucking zero.
So, and this is the type of environment where you couldn't do this really on an intraday basis in melt-up mode, right? I mean, you could. You
have to be a lot more patient, though, man. Like, you got to be a lot more freaking patient. Like, all this happened today, bro. Like this all happened today, and we were just in slow kind of mode. Because remember, that's how high the volatility gets.
Right.
So remember, everybody's thinking about yesterday. Like, everybody's thinking about yesterday. And as soon as yesterday, the chance of yesterday not happening again, it's enough to destroy all of that expectation, all of that perception of these options. So you really have to know like how they're priced and how they move. So again, if that's a strategy that you guys are interested in, come check us out. Come check us out in the room. This is stuff that we do. I also sell a options course, basically, where you can figure out how to do this stuff, and you can write options aggressively. You need some leverage, though. That's the shittiest part. You need some serious leverage just to write a 10 lot of fucking Amazon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think the other important thing too, Luch, that without you showing a lot of these guys, the exit strategy on these things, right? You know what I mean? Is something that you're not going to discover on your own, instantly. It really it comes from experience. That's where you can help out a lot. So
yeah, absolutely. And funny story, Jesus, like my broker where I sell this stuff, like he's calling me like, dude, what are you doing? Because I'm like, I sell this stuff naked, bro. I don't sell it with the spread. Sometimes I'll sell it with the spreads if I'm holding overnight. But this shit that I was doing today, like, dude, I had 50 to 70 contracts out there naked, and the actual risk exposure to that is millions of dollars, bro.
Yeah.
It's millions of dollars.
He's in your ear, right? He must have
so he'll call me and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Buy the wings here, man. Buy the wings. What the fuck? Hilarious. So I'm waiting, guys, for a period of low volatility that's kind of that may come back. So all of a sudden, when SPY figures out like wherever it just wants to chill the fuck out at, maybe it's 270, maybe it's 272, maybe it's 266, like wherever that is, there's going to be tons of premium that I can just take to the bank. And I want to do it aggressively, Jesus. So that's kind of the trade that I'm focused on for maybe the rest of the week and into next week.
Yeah. And today we came into a good setup because yesterday created a lot of short-term bearish sentiment. So that gave us a good idea that there'll be buyers into weakness today at some point. So again, we see this and people wonder why, why is the market down? There was a lot of bullish sentiment out there, guys, and the game is never that easy. Lucci was talking about Bitcoin. It's never that easy where you, your friends, your family are all going to get rich, all in a happy family. It doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean? So when things get a little too rich, there's too many bulls, they wash them out and repeat and rinse all over again.
Indeed. All right. So listen, just in wrap here, go to wallstreetjesus.com. We got a free trial here going. Again, the markets are so fucking crazy right now, so volatile that there's a lot of opportunity out here. Okay. There's a lot of opportunity. I'm hearing from both sides. There's people getting stuck in trades because they're in a little bit too early, things like that. Being in a room here, with a bunch of active traders too also helps with sentiment. What to trade, when to trade these things too. And then you got Jesus obviously on the live feed the whole damn day, just talking flow and talking what's hot and everything like that. So hopefully we see you guys in the room. Again, free trial for 3 days. Go to wallstreetjesus.com. And then, Jesus, are you doing it? Do you do Thursday webinars or you just do Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Okay.
We do Saturday sweep series, yeah.
Okay. All right. So all these webinars are recorded. They go to our YouTube channel, YouTube /Sang Lucci, and you will get everything over there. Follow us on Instagram too. We're all on Instagram as well. And hopefully we see you guys in the room.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Good luck out there.